It is, of course, another beautiful Saturday night. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Music City. This afternoon, we get set to kick off the second half of the season for the SRA Mini Stock Series here for the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. My name is Ola Rempel, and I'll be bringing you all of racing action from start to finish here on this Saturday afternoon. It's going to be a fun ride here this afternoon as we kick off the second half of the season at a racetrack that's going to see some higher speeds than what we've seen in seasons past. This is, weeks past. This is going to be, I think, a great show here this afternoon. And I can tell you right now, we are going to be in for a wild one here this afternoon. There is a lot to be had in terms of excitement here this afternoon. And I have to say, I think a lot of this field is going to be having an absolute time of it as they try to get themselves sorted up with some good old racing action here on a Saturday afternoon. Austin Edstrom stepping in to join us down in the broadcast booth. And Austin, it's continuing to be an entertaining season. A controversial finish last week at Langley that saw Jared Duda and Aaron Raymond come to blows. It ended with an attempted right rear hook from courtesy of Jared Duda to Aaron Raymond. But while crossing the finish line sideways, Raymond did still hold on to the top spot after a fierce bump and run. Do you think that tension could potentially boil over today, considering Jared Duda is not present for the next 3 weeks?
I mean, I definitely think, just given the fact that we're running these little mini stocks around these little short racetracks all around the United States, I mean, week in, week out, we're going to have a little bit of arguments, a little bit of tempers. There's just going to be frustrations, man. That's what this league, honestly, the series is kind of set up to do with the car and track combination. I mean, you go to short tracks, you're going to get some bent fenders and hurt feelings. So, honestly, I just think that, the series is working like it's supposed to with that.
Let's take a look at the point standings entering racing action here this afternoon. And it's a shame because we're about to lose a heck of a points fight for the top spots. Jared Duda again enters this race with a points lead, but he is not present for the next 3 weeks, so he's going to be out of championship contention. So look then to Raymond and Zane Bailey, still separated by only 7 points at the top of the boards. This championship still very much alive. You still got Jim Duda, Jared's teammate, that might be looking to get some retribution for his relative here this afternoon.
Yeah, but, well, if you're missing 3 races, the worst thing that you could probably do is have your relative go out there and, kind of finish the job, right? I feel like that would cause a lot more harm than good. So hopefully we see some, it doesn't necessarily need to be completely clean, but, respectful racing between these guys. A little bit of contact's all right, but let's not, go too crazy.
That's, of course, the hope, but that was also the hope in the last 4 weeks, and we've seen how the ends of these races, they can devolve really, really quickly. So this could be a race where anybody's got a chance to win here this afternoon. Draft could be in play down the straight to the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Of course, you got the elevation change as well. This track, kind of like North Wilkesboro, built on a little bit of a slope, but not to the same degree of an extreme that North Wilkesboro is. That still is going to make turns 1 and 2 a little bit more difficult to get onto the binders. It's going to be a wild show, though, for sure, this afternoon. And, of course, qualifying just drawing to a close. 17 cars are here this afternoon. This time, it's Jim Duda who will be starting on pole position ahead of Aaron Raymond. That could bode interesting to see how Raymond approaches this start.
He's just got to be careful, right? Like, you got to race Jim smart in this instance because you got to think Jim is still a little frustrated or irritated about the whole situation. And I mean, Aaron's probably not happy about the whole thing either, right? Typically, whenever you have an incident like that, both sides are a little frustrated with each other. So, Jim and Aaron starting side by side, well, I'm here for it. I think it's going to be great TV.
We'll get a rundown of what that starting grid is going to look like here this afternoon for the next hour or so of racing action on Green Flag TV. Started on pole position, it's Jim Duda out of the Midwest alongside Raymond Motorsports driver, Aaron Raymond. Zane Bailey for the Mid-South starts in third alongside Michigan native John Holliday. Raymond Motorsports teammate Dylan Wilbur starts in fifth with Brandon Gregg down to the number 6 spot. From there, it is Dale Rapp and Joshua Jernigan here, Austin, to close out the top half of the field.
Yes, sir. P9 is going to be Mike Campbell. Thomas Lane Jr. is going to be starting in 10th place. Paul Witt starting on the inside of row number 6 and 11th. Anthony Lane starting on his outside in 12th. Cody Witt starting in the 13th place position with Joshua Highball in 14th. John Bowalda in 15th place with Noah Swafford on his outside. And then rounding out the 17 car field is going to be RJ Buchanan.
So 17 cars lined up, ready to go, just waiting now on Mike Campbell. And this race, it could be an interesting one. I don't think we're going to see quite the pack racing that we saw at Miami Speedway, at Iowa Speedway. But it could be a race that's a little bit more comparable to that of what we saw at Bristol, right? You're going to see some higher speeds. You're going to have to see drivers working together if they want to keep with these drivers. I don't think we're going to get quite any drafting packs, but we will be seeing those little battle packs starting to shake up instead of a much more single file spread out field like we saw at tracks like Langley or Concord.
Yeah, I think that at a place like Nashville, like high bank corners, long straightaways, even in the corners, you're going to have a lot of speed in the car. I just, I feel like the field's going to stay relatively packed up. There's still going to be spots where obviously it strings out between cars, whatnot, but I do feel like we're going to have pretty good battle packs here at a racetrack like this with these mini stocks. I think Nashville's going to be one of the better tracks that these things can go to personally. I mean, I just really like the way that this track is laid out for these things. Very long straightaways for their standards, and then pretty decent banking in the corners that are just going to rip you right around, and probably a lot of lanes that you can kind of work with whenever you're in the side-by-side battles.
And of course, this is going to be one of the last tracks of its kind. North Wilkesboro does not have the type of banking that this place has, and that is the only track that comes close to this length. The other two tracks, we got Oxford Plains, a track where you never stop turning, and then of course the ever-famous South Boston Speedway to close out the season. So only 3 weeks remain after this one. It's a very short season. We've talked about it before. We talked about it at Bristol, right? You can't afford to have an off week, and so far, quite a few drivers have not been having optimal seasons.
Tough for Jared Duda too, right? You said it was a 3-race suspension earlier, and now you're telling me there's 4 races, inclling tonight, left in the season.
And
so
not
he
a
gets to come back to the
suspension.
championship?
Not a suspension. He can't be here due to other commitments.
Oh, okay. My mistake. All right. Well, then I don't know. We could see some more fender flare or issues between the 53 and the 6 here on the restart.
All right, green flag's up in the air. It's go, go, go from the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway. Field so far getting away well. They are still double file working down the front straightaway. Aaron Raymond trying to pull clear from the high side. Jim Duda leaning on the door, not willing to cut him any kind of slack. But that number 6 car still making good work for the priority auto number 6 up high.
Really close between the two coming down to turn number 3. Duda stepping that right rear out, sliding the right rear out of the corner at turn number 4, and then back down into turn number 1. Barely anything between the two as Duda washes up the racetrack trying to take all the room possible, and he gets turned head on into the outside wall. Aaron Raymond catches the right rear, and we've got a huge stack up on the back straightaway as multiple cars are crashing.
Multiple cars involved, and just like that, the rivalry escalates again between the Duda dynasty and Aaron Raymond. Raymond is, I hate to say it right off, but Aaron Raymond is a driver that's he's got a lot of animosity up and down throughout the grid in multiple different series from past incidents. And I think he's just piling it on. I mean, he's not making it any easier on himself when he gets involved in incidents like this so early on with drivers that already don't have him on their Christmas card list.
Yeah, I'm just, this is one I definitely want to watch back. You know, is it a natural point to come out of the corner? Was Raymond kind of coming down? Yeah, it's tough to tell straight on. I'm kind of trying to watch mainly the car behind. What's the line? He's running by himself to see if it's natural, and Duda's under what the car behind is running, so I don't know. It's tight racing coming off the corner. Duda slides up a little bit. Raymond did kind of cut the dash line ever so slightly. I mean, it's honestly a really tough one to call.
You saw the Mustang Fox body up the road go spinning out as well. There's the 41 and Joshua Highbaugh that got collected. Take another look at this at speed. Hills 52 of tail wrapped that was spinning up the road. I mean, to Raymond's credit, Duda wasn't really letting him get down to the bottom, but he doesn't have to either, right? That's the tricky thing with all of this.
It is, and that's, like, Duda is exiting the corner because, well, naturally you exit the corner and go towards the wall whenever you come out of the corner in oval racing, but Raymond's pinching him, trying to prevent him from getting as good of a run as possible, and I just think he pinched him too tight, especially working lap 3, right? I think that's the main thing. If we're working lap 97, I'm probably more in the that's decent pinching. It is what it is. Unfortunate. On lap 3, maybe it's over aggressive there from Raymond on the outside.
And then you take another look at this up the road and watch about how Dale Rapp collects Paul Witt here. Well, Witt actually collected the 39 car of Cody Witt to send him up and into the outside wall. So a lot of cars with big damage. That's definitely the big one. At least 7, 8, it's about half the field that got caught up in that mess.
I hate to be a fence sitter, but man, I really feel like I gotta kind of stand firmly in the middle on that one. I just, it's just two guys fighting for the same little bit of real estate coming off the racetrack. My problem is it happened on lap 3 again, like I said. If lap 90, whatever, you're racing hard for the win, but man, we're just starting. Come on, guys.
Well, there's usually 1 or 2 early on, and then we get some green flag runs. And last week, we got yellow flag number 1 at just lap 15, and then we went green for over half the race. So these things can happen. Now it's a new pair up front. John Holiday not going to get a good launch for the inside. Brennan Gregg well clear into turn number 1.
Yeah, Greg easily taking the race lead down to the bottom side of the racetrack immediately. And finally, we've got somebody single file up in the race lead, side by side for fourth. Witt on the outside, Jernigan down on the inside, trying to make the bottom groove work. 39, way up the racetrack, trying to get a better run, but man, he had a bad exit, got the fence a little bit. Gonna allow one more guy to get down to his inside. It looks like that's
oh boy!
Contact between Raymond and the 39.
And that might have just been drivers trying to go a bit of 3 wide. Although John Bualda Jr. was trying to stuff it up the middle there. I talked, by the way, to John Bualda Jr. last week. He is hoping for around $50K for that car. That's why he's got for sale on the side. So trying to get to his outside. Well, Bualda trying to take that one down low through 1 and 2.
I don't think you could get $50K for a mini stock in real life. I think that he needs to temper his expectations.
Oh, no!
Duda again. Jim Duda just got to the inside, but just a little bit of contact sends him into the inside wall. I mean, terrible start to the race for Duda.
It's always those two, man. I mean, every time without fail. Paul Witt down the middle of 3 wide. Bualda forced up to the high side. The 16 of Dylan Wilbers dropping back. There's Aaron Raymond now trying to pressure Joshua Jernigan and giving a nudge to Thomas Lane Jr., trying to push him clear of that number 22 car. Well, the top 3 are just on a breakaway because of all this carnage back here in the field.
Yeah, the top 3 starting to kind of break off from these 3 right behind. Excuse me. The 38 trying to make a move on Jernigan. Jernigan stuck on the outside. Raymond all over the back bumper. The 38 shoving him down the back straightaway. Typically don't see too much bump drafting in mini stocks, but hey, Nashville, I guess you can make it work, and it looks like it's going to work out. Jernigan going back a spot. Move Thomas Lane Jr. up to 4th, but Raymond's looking to bump him right back down to 5th.
I think Raymond's feeling a lot of that frustration early on. He was not happy after the way last week's race ended as well. To quote him, I don't know what to make of that. I mean, he thinks that he was given a bump from Jared Duda, which to his credit he was. He responded in kind with some interest, and it resulted in a slugfest at the very end of the race. So neither driver was too happy after last week, and well, I think we're starting to see that frustration finally boil over from that number 6. He is up at a 4th, though, and clear, so he could now try to run down the rest of this field. Going to try to get a look back on what happened here to Aaron Raymond and more. This is coming off of turn number 4 down the front stretch. I think Cody Witt might have pinched him a little bit there.
Yeah, I think so, too. I think Cody just turned in a little bit too early, was trying to fall in behind the 6. Maybe Raymond got the brakes, so Witt thought he was going to be able to slide him behind, but Raymond caught the brake pedal, so he slowed down, just misjudged it. A little bit of contact for Raymond, so not too bad for him, but Witt definitely got a pretty decent chunk of the fence.
And then Jim Duda now out of the race. And this is why. He just got too aggressive, tried to get down the inside of John Bualda Jr., and he got a hit. And we do have yellow for Noah Swafford.
I think Noah got on the radio and started saying, Cody, Cody, Cody. So I don't think he's too happy with Cody Witt.
Uh-oh.
And he just said, I'm going to let that one slide, brother. So I think Cody Witt might have gotten him one here.
No contact with these cars.
Oh, goodness.
Usually.
He's way back.
Whoa. That almost looked like he got on the brakes a little bit too late, because it looked like he was going to sweep wide if he didn't hit Cody Witt there.
Oof. That was
Dale Rapp with nowhere to go.
I think Swafford definitely let off the gas a little early just to kind of give some breathing space in front going down into the corner. He had somebody right in front of him. But it wasn't egregious, not to where you would expect to get dive bombed from 2.5, 3 tenths back. So Cody definitely drove in there just a little too hard.
That's going to cause Swafford to nose it into the inside wall. Let's ride on board here with Cody Witt, see what he saw. Yeah, I mean, he's trying to keep it out of him and slow it down.
Man, I mean, that was going to, honestly, it was going to be a freaking good corner from Witt, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It's just there was never really room to throw the car down there.
And this is with Swafford. Let's do a good job of showing the angle that it hits this wall, because that wall's coming out to meet him as well. Right at the end of pit road, he got some help there for Dale Rabin. Spun around in just the wrong place, showing that he may have had another incident here under caution.
Oh, no.
This would be coming up to enter pit road, I'd imagine.
Please tell me he didn't Kyle Larson this thing.
Oh!
Oh, they're just stopping because it's a tough entry. That's fine.
Yeah, well, why was the 82 stopped is my question. I mean, it's not that hard to get on a pit road here when you're under yellow. Oh, Cody Witz!
He was going to be fine. I don't know why he stopped.
He started to back up. It's almost like he was trying to think twice and then realized it was just that's not the place to make that decision to duck back out.
He thought that he wasn't going to be able to make it, but the right side of his car was clearly inside of the tire barrier there, so
How do you back up
a little bit of a misjudgment.
I don't get why he would have reversed.
He thought he didn't think he could make it. That's the only thing. He didn't think his car was fitting in there, but it clearly was. So,
It's been a strange
an interesting
start
one.
to this race.
It really is. I don't really have any words. Like it's not like it's bad. It's just weird. It's very strange.
Zane Bailey currently with a leg up on now his main title rival, Aaron Raymond. While Raymond may have won the last championship, Zane Bailey was able to take the honors of taking the final win of the season. And he said that when the winter rolls around and we're into the January, February months for the SRA Truck Series, he is going to try to take that fight to Aaron Raymond for the championship there. This could be good.
I mean,
practice.
that's the mindset you got to have going into it to be able to actually take it, right? If you're going in there saying, I just want a good top 5, you're probably not going to win the daggum championship. You got to go in there thinking guns blazing, I got to get everything I got to get. So I like the
Especially with a guy
mentality.
like Raymond that can be so consistently
Exactly.
up front.
Exactly. I like the mentality.
So far, only two different race winners in this championship, Jared Duda and Aaron Raymond. We'll see if there'll be a third different winner tonight. Jumping out to the early lead is going to be Brandon Gregg. He's clear by 3 down to turn 1.
Everybody from fourth on back on that restart came down pit road. Brennan Gregg, John Holiday, Zane Bailey stayed out. So these guys not choosing to come down, get tires, any fuel, nothing. Raymond, first guy on tires. He's on the outside ripping around Zane Bailey.
That outside lane is good tonight. I mean, I have not seen too many passes work from the inside. It's been more passes from the outside that have been the ones to watch. So Raymond gets up to third. Bailey will tuck up to the outside line. But he does scrape it a little bit as he gets in there with Paul Witt. Paul Witt trying to look for the inside now, but no room. And now you see Raymond challenging for second.
Yep, Raymond, he is firmly there side by side with the number 9 as we dive down to turn number 1, and it looks like Holiday's just going to let Aaron Raymond have the spot. Probably a smart decision. Don't want to invite any pressure from behind. Zane Bailey's been pretty quick, so good move there from Holiday just to give it to Raymond. He's on older tires too than Raymond, so no reason to really fight a losing battle. Raymond now just one more guy to pick off before he's back in the lead.
And that is Brennan Gregg, and these are two drivers that have come to physical blows so far this season. That might play in the back of Gregg's mind here. Down the backstretch, back to turn 3. Raymond piling on the pressure. Brennan Gregg so far did a good job of keeping him at bay. Raymond looking for the inside. He's got the nose in.
Raymond down there. This is for the race lead. Gregg trying to hang on way on the outside. He's keeping his foot in it, keeping the nose to the right rear of Aaron Raymond here, just trying to hang on to that outside groove, seeing if it can keep him up in the race lead. Coming down to turn number 3, though, way up the racetrack this time goes Brennan. Raymond wrapping that bottom just all the way down on the yellow line, trying to get clear. Almost. He gets it done down the front stretch.
And Brennan Gregg not going to go back on the offensive into turn number 1, so Raymond is now clear with the lead, and he can try to take off and run away with this thing. He did pit on lap number 4, I believe for damage purposes now, when he was in the box for 12.5 seconds, could have been for some fresh tires as well, at least on the right side. Trouble behind. Anthony Lane turned around. Bawalda turned around. Wraps into the inside wall. Cody Witt's involved. Track is blocked at turn 4. Bawalda just slammed Dale Rapp into the inside wall.
God bless. We've had a couple big incidents so far tonight. I mean, my goodness, the wrecks we've had so far have been pretty massive, and it's not like, I mean, this is a pretty small mini stock field, right? 17 cars on a little short track. I can't believe every single one is 5+ cars.
Well, you got a lot of chances to come down and fix that damage, and that's the good thing about these cars, right? They can take a hit. They can take a couple of hits before they're fully down and out, so that does keep the racing action alive. Bailey, Gregg, Jernigan, Highball, Swafford, Buchanan, all in to pit road. Let's find out what happened.
Oh, did it come from
Cody
here?
Cody Witt with nowhere to go. Dale Rapp's got a blocked track in front of him. But behind you see Mike Campbell doing a good job to slow it down. The 19 should have gotten damage. I think he got away with that one because of some Neko to them. Bawalda trying to flick spin. The car ripped a bit too much though. That's insult to injury.
That's awesome.
Oh, Dale Rapp might beg to differ.
I was a fan, so I can understand why Dale would not be too pleased though. But man, Bawalda really just got a trope to the 82 there coming off of turn number 4.
Just too aggressive. Might have something from our pit entry cam here. We'll see if there's anything. We do. This will be a perfect angle of this, actually.
Yeah, I just want to see the little slam. 19 got lucky with the internet. I mean, dang, man. Maybe, okay, I will take that into the future to know never try to flick spin the mini stock if there's anyone near you. Doesn't work.
We've seen these guys do the donuts afterwards. You can do it, but it takes some considerable effort. You can't just mash the throttle like you can the 700 horsepower cars. I mean, these cars, I mean, what? How much horsepower do these mini stocks have?
Ooh, that's a good question. Let me see if I can pull that up on the iRacing.
200 thereabouts. Yeah.
Really?
Well, it says more than 200 horsepower, but I'm assuming that means I'm assuming that means less than 300. So between 200 and 300 somewhere. That's around the same amount of horsepower as the Ford Mustang FR500S, and that can generate some wheel spin. But these cars obviously not built for it.
Yeah, I'm not able to find an exact number either. It doesn't look like, but
I mean,
it's definitely not.
The Mustang can generate 330.
Yeah, if I'm hearing over 200, it's probably pretty minuscule after that. But I mean, these things, man, they rip around this racetrack. I mean, we've had what 3 or 4 cautions already, and we're still 30 laps into this thing already. I mean, this race is flying by. These things are pretty rapid.
Pace cars off. Raymond up top. Holiday down low. Green flags out. We're back to it, and already again, Raymond out with the early lead. Wilbur's looking for the outside. Holiday, though, tracking down low, trying not to let Raymond get too much of an advantage here. I don't think they're going to have much of a choice, though. That priority number 6 is clear and gone.
Holiday's still the only guy out here who has not come down pit road. Stayed out on the racetrack once again. The 2 guys that were out there with him decided to come down that last time. Zane Bailey working his way through. Whoa, with a 39, way deep into turn number 1. Did he even use the brake pedal, or did he get sent? Cody Witt, what in the world?
Way up the racetrack into the outside. Whoa, now hit by Noah Swafford. Swafford gets up on 2 wheels. He'll recover somehow. Jernigan now down to the apron and almost going around.
He was a bicycle for a second and somehow didn't wreck. I can't believe it. I mean, Noah Swafford, what in the world? I can't believe he rode up on him with the right side of his car and somehow was able to bring that thing back down and not just chatter the rears and spin it out by the end of it.
Kidding.
Goodness gracious. Holiday still doing a great job hanging on to second on those old tires for everybody else. Wilbur's not really able to make any headway on him. Getting to look a little bit further back.
Witt did that to himself.
Did he?
Yeah. There was no one around him.
Behind going into the corner.
Ooh. Jeez. I mean, We can try to take a look.
He just sent it.
Yeah, no kidding. This is, we see Cody Witt up the road here. We'll ride him with Brendan Gregg. He's the first car behind Cody Witt here. I think Witt did this one all to himself, though.
Oh.
Well, nope, by himself.
No, yeah, that's why he was trying to clear him, and that I don't.
Well, he did clear him.
He did clear. Yeah, he cleared him. I don't know what he was thinking, but he cleared him. So, I mean, it worked for a second and a half, I guess.
Dylan Wilbur's now getting to the inside of John Holliday. Paul Witt's under fire from Brendan Gregg behind. So 4 cars under a blanket here in the battle for the number 2 spot. Raymond is just pulling out the gap here. Contact all throughout, second through fourth. And that's dragging in Zane Bailey and Joshua Highbaugh to make it a 6-car fight for the podium spots.
Dylan Wilbur's down to the inside trying to get second away. Remember, he's on newer tires than Holiday. He's probably got a little bit more pace, but that inside has just been so difficult to pass on all night long. And Holiday is really pinching him down to the bottom of the racetrack coming out of turn number 4, 16, a little sideways, a little skittish, but they're still side by side as we go down to 1. Wilbur's doing everything he can, door to door through 2.
Oh, trouble behind. Multiple cars up and into the wall. Joshua Jernigan again on 2 wheels, and he nearly cleared the fence right by the PFC brake signage.
God bless. I mean, we just talked earlier about Noah Swafford being a bicycle up on 2 wheels. Same thing there for the 22. Joshua Jernigan collected in another incident.
Bit loose off 4.
It's not a great line going down to the corner, I can tell you that.
Yeah, alongside Bawalda, drifted up,
and,
right rear hooked with some net code, hard into the outside wall.
Can't enter on the bottom line. You can't enter that low. If you're running the yellow line on the straightaway, you're not making the corner. You are not making the corner. And he just, he got loose out of 4, put him down there, but he never did anything to correct his positioning, and then just overdrove the corner because he was a little bit too low, a little bit lower than he's been all night, and unfortunately, yeah, like you said, there's a little bit of net code involved, but I think, honestly, he was going to right rear hook himself anyway, even without the net code. But at the end of the day, just drove in there a little too deep and hooked himself.
No safer barriers. That's a lot of damage. Several cars, by the way, into pit road. Aaron Raymond is in. He'll drop back to 7th. So he's got another fight through the field in his hands, and it's Wilbers, Campbell, Holiday, Elaine. Paul Witt is in for damage repairs. So is Cody Witt, Noah Swafford, and John Bawalda Jr. They're all leaving pit road, as is Dale Rapp, because they're trying to beat the pace car out.
Very, very confusing style of racing here with the way the cautions are falling and the pit strategies that are coming out of it. Like just people pitting on different terms. I mean, Raymond pitting here, going back to 5th after already pitting 20 laps ago, and we've had a couple cautions. I'm surprised, I guess, at how much tire wear there is tonight to where they think they need to pit every 20 laps, even with yellows, sprinkled in between. But obviously they're feeling something out there on the racetrack that these tires are going pretty quick.
Well, it doesn't hurt to have them, right? Because you don't know if this is going to be the run where you go green to the end. We're already.
That's a good point.
We're only 8 laps. As well as that, we're only 7 laps away from the halfway point. So you may as well at this point if you haven't pitted yet. Thomas Jr., though, one driver that agrees with you. He has not come down to pit road all race long. He remains on the racetrack on the same tires he started on.
I don't know if I would take it this late, right? Everybody else has pitted twice, except for the 3 guys in front of him. They've still only got 1, but I'm surprised Lane has got it going this late. Maybe he's just going to take a set at lap 50. Maybe there's a caution at 50 or just after 50, and he's wanting to do like half and half. I could maybe see that, and just never taking tires again.
How about Dale Rapp and Jim Duda getting several wave rounds here? This is Duda's at least his 2nd here. Dale Rapp was not the lucky dog in that incident. Neither was Jim Duda. Jim Duda was in fact 16 laps down, before this yellow flag came out. He is now, I think, about 14 down. And they will not wave him around again because they're about to go green.
Man, these laps are just ticking off. Even with, 5 cautions so far, 6 cautions so far? 55 laps to go, almost halfway through this thing. We are bleeding laps quickly. Brendan Gregg up in the race lead. Zane Bailey, 2 is inside in 2nd on this restart. Again, front 4 did not pit on this last pit stop.
I mean, you look at the Concord race, right? We had 8 cautions or so there, 125 laps or so, and we had double overtime. Race ended at yellow. Still was over in less than an hour and a half. I mean, these races, they are not long. Green flag, though, back in the air. Brendan Gregg hopping to it. Zane Bailey down on the low side. This time, the pole sitter not getting as good of a jump.
No, Greg not able to get clear Zane Bailey here, but coming off of turn number 2, he's got that outside groove. Looks like he's going to be able to clear him. Zane Bailey into second. He's got Thomas Lane looking to his outside, but Lane's still kind of stuck into a battle here with the 44, and the 16. Wilbur's not too far off right behind him, maybe trying to make it 3 wide on the outside, but they've got a little bit of an issue further back. With these guys all coming down to the corner, Raymond down to the bottom, trying to make it 3 wide. He's going to do that. Wilbur's way up top. Holiday in the middle. Oh, and the 16 almost find the fence. Raymond really tight on the left rear of the number 9. And look at Holiday just driving through this field.
John Holiday said, see you later. Joshua Highbaugh checking up the number 6 down on the inside line. Oh, cuts the nose off as they get down to turn 1. Highbaugh looking for the top side. Paul Wilbur's closing in. Caution is out. We'll slow it down again. Anthony Lane coming to a stop in turn 1.
Whew, that was a little 3-lap dash of action right there. I mean, big stack up in the middle section there, about 4th to 7th to 8th. All those guys all racing hard, trying to be the first guy through, be the first guy on tires to be able to challenge Greg Bailey Lane. And man, Holiday was the one to do it through the middle. Raymond got stacked up on the bottom. Wilbur's got stacked up top, and well, Holiday said, "Thank you very much. I'll go through the middle, take that." Well, Lane, that's not what the 82 wanted to see, coming down to 1.
No, he got some help there as well from Joshua Jernigan. Watch this here again as Jernigan, they come together. 2 lines come together coming off at turn number 4, and then Jernigan pinched him tight. Lane never came up. Contact with Campbell. Rapp got a piece. And Lane goes around. So, caution number 5. This one puts us past the halfway point. We'll be back in a moment on Green Flag TV with the restart and the second half.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to Green Flag TV. Getting set to return back to Green Flag Racing. We've got about 2 laps left on the boards for us here this afternoon. Well, 2 laps before we go back to Green Flag Racing at least. We still got just shy of 50 laps left in this one. Austin, it's been an eventful race so far, and call me crazy, I don't believe we're done yet. Jim Duda now within 10 laps of the leaders. If the cautions keep up like this, he'll be on the lead lap if he keeps getting these free wayflies.
For a lot, buddy. He needs a caution every 5 laps. Come on now.
Well, again, he's getting 2 or 3 cautions every single wave around. Because this is, again, like another one that he's taking. He was 16 laps down 2 yellows ago.
Oh, he gets 2 or 3 wave rounds every caution.
Yeah, they're trying to get as many cars back onto the lead lap as possible here.
Okay. I gotcha. My mistake.
Oh, I kind of like it. Let's get as many cars on the lead lap. Let's make it a good fight for the end.
I'm here for it. 50 laps to go. I mean, 47 at the line. We're halfway done with this thing. The last half is going to be, it's going to be a banger. Whenever we have racing, it's awesome so far. I can't wait.
Oh, mini stocks, how I'm glad you're here on the iRacing service. Green flag's back in the air. Zane Bailey on the inside. Brendan Gregg on the outside. 47 to go. Double file into turn 1. Raymond already trying to stuff it in with John Holiday. It's not going to happen, though. Gregg clears. Does he chop down? Yes, he does. Brendan Gregg steals away the race lead fully, and now Raymond trying to go up the middle of 3 wide. No room! Holiday slams the door shut.
Holiday. Raymond make contact, kind of forced Joshua Highball into the fence there too, letting Holiday get by, and Raymond is the one that's struggling, stuck behind two guys side by side down the back straightaway, while Holiday pulls away, the first guy on newest tires up to third, able to just run down these front two, while Raymond is pinned behind the 429 of Witt and Highball there in the 41.
Looking for 3 wide again down the inside. Paul Witt squeezing him out, and he's not going to let the priority auto number 6 get it in. Pinches him again in turn 2, forces him onto the apron. Paul Witt is not letting Raymond get an inch of ground here. He'll have to take this one the hard way, I feel. Highball will let the 6 car get in and immediately gets almost put in the fence for his troubles. Dylan Wilbur's now to the inside, and Raymond is all over the back of Paul Witt.
Oh, the level of aggression you've got to have to be able to make passes in this thing here tonight is just unreal. The top side just a little bit favored whenever you're side by side, but you can just barely get that inside move done. If you just use a lot of contacts, but man, a little bit of contact through 4, there's 39 having a little bit of a moment. Once again, Cody Witt is
trouble!
Holiday sideways, able to hang on to it. Raymond gets caught up. Yellow flag's flying as Holiday still saving it. Oh my goodness.
Not sure where or what the yellow was for. Might have been for Anthony Lane, but they all saved it up front. And Holiday was able to retake the spot because that caution came out in time.
It gave him his spot back? Oh my goodness.
So
Holiday
it wasn't for him.
He just lucked out like crazy.
What was the yellow for? Do you have any idea? I'm not seeing anything on my end.
I didn't see anything either. I think it got thrown for him. But it wasn't. It was an iRacing yellow.
Lane right there into the inside wall.
Yeah, that would do it right there. Probably. Well, I mean, it's off the racetrack. I'm kind of surprised.
We found
Unless
it.
he bounced back on.
I thought it might have been for Lane. Oh, he got hooked by Dale Rapp, spun down and into the inside wall. Yikes.
Tough break for Lane. Kind of surprised it brought out a yellow with him being off the racetrack, but nonetheless, we're going to rank him up and go again.
Rapp came down for like 2 lanes down. Lane is against the outside wall. I mean, here, let's look at that again here real quick. I mean, we'll stop this. Look how far down the racetrack Dale Rapp was there. I mean, Lane's against the outside wall. He hits the outside wall. He couldn't have done anything about that. What was that? Talk about a bit of a harsh hit. This is what Barney the pace car driver saw. Or Benny the pace car driver.
It's a pretty good view.
He gets a little visitor. I wonder if maybe Rapp just... what I'm thinking here with that, I think Dale Rapp probably would have been clear there had Anthony Lane not gone into the outside walls. He was just following a normal racing line and then just couldn't react in time to Lane slapping the wall off of 4.
I think that's a great way to break that down. I think you've nailed it. You know, you're coming out of the corner, you've got it set how you're going to come up to the wall, and well, if you've hit the corner perfect, you are running so fast that you can't pull it down off of the line that you're running out towards the wall, coming off of the corner. And there, I just think that's what kind of happened to him. And like you mentioned, just was running his normal line coming off the corner, and well, you typically don't expect a car to hit the fence coming out of the corner by himself. So tough break for both of them that they had to get caught up in that. But hey, we still got another 40 laps. We've had 20 cautions already, so not like it's that big of a deal.
Watch John Holiday here slide it out, and then he tries, Raymond tries to gun it up the inside of 3 wide. This would be a good move, but the yellow flag just came out right about there. Couldn't really find the caution lights. He almost got right rear hooked as well because Holiday was still trying to save it because he rebounded up the track into Paul Witt.
Well, 37 laps to go on this green flag. Up to another restart. Brennan Gregg still in the race lead. Zane Bailey still to his inside. Do these guys come back down pit road? They are on the oldest tires by 13 laps from everybody behind them. Is the pit window done? Are we completely done coming down pit road?
We can't go. So yes and no. You can go to the end if this goes green all the way. But if you get another caution with like 10 to go, you might want to come down again. We'll see how this goes out though. Green flag.
Wrong gear. He's in the wrong gear. Huge stack up. Zane Bailey's probably got a black flag for passing him before the on the jump. That's why he was stacking up. And the inside line had to just stack, but Brendan Gregg couldn't get the thing shifted.
Paul Witt looking to the inside for the race lead. Brendan Gregg kind of caught in no man's land. Raymond stuffing it in to turn numbers 3 and 4. Trying to battle for third. They're 3 wide behind as well. Dale Rapp going to be forced out down the front straightaway. Paul Witt still holding the inside. Zane Bailey not showing any signs of slowing or any indication that he's trying to come to pit road. He might have gotten away with that because of the circumstances on that. Because Greg had launched. It was out of the restart zone. So we'll see how iRacing rules that. Paul Witt still holding the inside. And so far, Zane Bailey not showing any signs of slowing down.
A good chunk of people had black flags cleared after that. Zane Bailey was one of them, so I think that the officials saw the stack up on the restart and noticed that that was not Zane Bailey's fault, not any of these other guys. Good
call on that.
And here's Witt to the race lead, diving it down into turn number 3. The newer tires prevailing for Witt, but Raymond's there too on newer tires. He gets sideways, side by side again for the lead as Raymond's falling again.
3 wide, down to the turn numbers 1 and 2. Greg up top, hard in the middle. Holiday, Raymond hooking at Raymond, and in a mirror image of lap number 1, Raymond gets into the outside wall. He's collected by John Buwalda Jr. And boy, some might call it karma. That is pretty much identical to what happened on lap number 4 when Raymond turned Jim Duda, and that right front, or that left front is not looking pretty.
I'm going to be honest with you, it was not a mirror image. The 6 of Aaron Raymond's is on the yellow line, and Holiday came down and right rear hooked the hell out of him. I mean, I got to be honest, Raymond didn't have anything to do with that.
Raymond's got a lot. That's going to be a long fix if he doesn't have a quick repair in the back pocket here, and I don't think they do.
I mean,
that's not boding well.
There was a little bit of net code between them two, but I mean, Holiday pinched way too hard. I know they were 3 wide, but he had ample room to his outside. The guy in the third groove was giving him a lot of room, so tough break for Raymond. I mean, he was on the yellow line, maybe half a foot off at max, but man, you gotta let him have that distance.
It's already in progress there. That was John Holiday that hooked him, and you see him actually caught up on the nose of John Buwalda Jr. as well. Buwalda tried to shoot for the outside, thought Raymond was going to spin back down low, and it didn't end up happening that way. That's a shame. It was looking to be a good fight before that happened. Raymond is back out on the racetrack.
See, Raymond's down there, man.
Yeah,
he's down at the very bottom, and once you make the first bit of contact, it's already changed Raymond's angle, right? Like, he's not going to be able to get that car back down to the bottom side of the racetrack after the first bit of contact. It's already directed his momentum higher up than he was wanting it to be. So after the first bit of contact, whenever he's on the yellow line, he's honestly a passenger from that point on. But you can see he's way down at the bottom.
Great job right there of showing that.
Yeah, and it was net code at first. It was. So, but just a little too heavy a pinching, I guess.
Watch on board with John Buwalda Jr. here for the Jackdaw Motorsports number 5. As he tried to take this one around the outside, sees the hook right there, so he knows there's a wreck, doesn't know where to go. Shot for the high side, and that's unfortunate where Raymond still remained.
Yeah, he couldn't quite see in front of him, and honestly, the hook, he couldn't quite tell the end result of it from the moment, right? They kind of disappeared behind the other cars as they were starting to get sideways, so maybe you keep your foot in it because you don't know if they were able to save it, but unfortunately, everybody stacks up in front of him, and he ended up picking the wrong lane as everybody was, blocking his vision. Tough break, but 30th to go, and there's been so much damage repair already tonight. I don't think what's a little bit more damage to the front end.
And with that, Jim Duda, because of all of these excessive waiver rounds that they're giving him to try to get everybody back onto the lead laps, everybody's got an even chance to fight for a win. Duda now only 1 lap down. And they might get him onto the lead lap here. No, we're not. They're not going to give it to him. He'll have to wait for 1 more.
.28 laps to go on the restart. Can Zane Bailey hang on now? Now, I mean, you said we've only had 2 race winners all year. Well, Raymond just got obliterated. So I think we're changing that tonight.
I don't know. A lot can happen.
Well, that's fair. That's fair.
Remember Concord. Remember Langley. A lot can happen here. Green flag back in the air. 28 to go. Zane Bailey on a good restart. This time it's Cody Witt that doesn't launch. Bailey clears down across the nose of John Holiday. Dylan Wilbers in third. Stacked up, nose to tail, double file for about fourth on back. Lanes into the wall.
Oh, contact. Swafford into the back bumper of lane 2. Thomas might have broke just a little bit early for that corner. Swafford not ready for it. But still side by side. Witt down on the bottom lane trying to get to his right rears. They're slow behind the 44 right in front. Both of them wash up on the bottom ever so slightly, trying to get a straighter run off the corner. Lane way up the racetrack again, though.
Trouble!
Sideways. That's the 44.
Highball. Joshua Highball gets into the
41.
inside wall. And Zane Bailey retains his lead. Raymond fights back to 12th, and that will get Jim Duda onto the lead lap with the Lucky Dog free pass.
My goodness, he's actually there. So what if Jim Duda wins this race? Have you ever seen somebody win an iRacing race from down 16 laps?
I've seen someone actually come close, and not from excessive waiver rounds, just from sheer lucky dogs alone.
This had to have been Martinsville then.
It was.
Yep.
It was 33 cautions at Martinsville.
Yep. That's pretty standard. That's accurate. Must have been a very fun NIS. Or league race of 250 laps.
I had to administrate. It was hell.
Oh.
You saw the look there. Highball getting a little bit of help here from Paul Witt coming down. Kind of got checked up by Cody Witt, though. Goes into the inside wall. Now that race was something. I mean, to be fair, he probably would have been close to winning. He didn't really come close to winning, but he made a heck of a comeback drive. I mean, he ended up going down about 12 laps. Fought his way back to only being 1 down. Went down another 8 laps, and then fought back from that to only being 2 down by the end of the race. I mean, if that's not commitment, I don't know what is.
I respect it, man. I mean, I don't think that there's ever been a race where I go down 16 laps and stay in the race. I leave, I get out of there, have fun with my day. But Jim Duda has stayed with this thing and got himself back on the lead lap. I respect it. I respect the hustle.
We're going to be restarted this race with less than a quarter of the laps to go. The next time we're out for the SRA Mini Stock Series will be at Oxford Plains, 150 laps. We never called an Oxford Plains race here on Green Flag TV. First thing that comes to mind with that racetrack there, Austin, the sand mounds surrounded the light poles. Oh boy, it's going to be a wild ride. Have you seen the Oxford Plains pit road? I mean, that pit road is something else.
I don't know if I remember it off the top of my head. I definitely, Oxford Plains is a weird racetrack. I mean, there are going to be some awkward wrecks next week, man. There are going to be some awkward accidents.
It's a really wide racetrack, and it's a wall-less racetrack as well. There's no walls on the outside of 1, 2, 3, or 4. Only walls on the back stretch and the front stretch. That could lead to a lot of extra aggression as cars could be bullied out wide. Before we get to that, of course, tomorrow it's bump day for the Classic IndyCar Series with 9 spots remaining. Pole day was a wild show. Speed record again reset 3 times in CIS history. And now we get set to see who will start on the last 9 spots with still about 15 cars that have yet to re-qualify. It'll be a wild one. That'll be tomorrow at 2:15 p.m. Eastern time.
I can't wait for that. I can't wait for the Indy 500 there.
Oh
I cannot wait.
DJ Clark might be popping into the booth to give us some company throughout that race.
Is he really?
Yeah.
No way. That's going to be fantastic.
He's willing to volunteer his time, pop in for a little while, say hello.
I can't wait.
Refly back in the air, 21 laps on the docket. Zane Bailey out to the lead. Clears John Holiday. Should get down to the inside of turn 1. Easily clears by the time they get down to 1 and 2.
Great restart from Zane Bailey, and he absolutely had to get that done. Remember, he is on the oldest tires out of everybody out here. So he's got to get clear and just use that clean air. Try to get everything he can. Huge dive there from third. Holy cow, Mike Campbell trying to clear for third down into turn 3. Was just able to do it over the nose of Wilbers. Kind of dropped them back.
No!
Oh, no, they're wrecking straight away. Greg's in it. The 39, also
Whoa!
Cody Witt. Oh, no! Lane goes up and over. Anthony Lane in the 82. Barrel rolls back over onto his wheels, and he's going to be able to continue. Is this the beer league?
Aaron Raymond shot right through the middle of that, by the way. Not a scratch. He picks up 8th.
What?
He saw a gap and he said sayonara.
This league is hilarious. It's been good racing, but like I can't even follow how people are getting towards the front. Who's at the front when they're? I mean, it's all over the place. I mean, every time I'm looking up, Raymond from the back to the front to the back to the front, over and over, lane up and over at a short track. Typically not what you expect, but we're gonna do it here tonight. I mean, this race has had a little bit of everything.
That was a vicious impact into the inside wall that Cody Witt took as well. I mean, look at this. You'll see him just exit stage left and then lane. Goes for a very gentle barrel roll as far as flips are concerned. I mean, that'd be one of those flips in the real world. I mean, yeah, get it right and get rolling. You can keep that car in the race.
I mean, it almost looks like he didn't get any damage from it. I mean,
I remember.
I think it looks fine.
I remember on Flow Racing there was an incident where a car had a very gentle rollover like that, and obviously procedure when you see that immediate red flag, right? I mean, the car's flipped. You got to throw the red flag at a short track. And it was a bit awkward then when he drove away from the wreck immediately, and the car was fine to continue, and they had to red flag it anyway. And he's just sitting there. You can see him in the car. He's like, why? I'm fine. Let's go.
Did they let him continue?
Yeah. I mean, the car was fine. It wasn't leaking anything. Scratched bodywork. That was about it.
It just worries me. Sometimes, you see a car flipping, like the sanctioning body might get a little antsy because you might be a little worried.
It was a local short track race, just a weekly program.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is what... Whoops. This is then what Cody Witt... well, that's... Here, this will be what Cody Witt saw here. This will be the good one. Watch this. And then this is Raymond.
I can't believe he got through this. I mean, wow.
Quick juke to the inside, and that's all it takes. Highball got through that as well.
It's somehow going to give him an opportunity. I mean, now into the top 8. Right, if he's behind there and he's got to pass so many cars, I'm like, oh, this race is over for him. But he only needs like one more of that wreck from the guys in front of him, and then he's going to be in the first 2 rows on a restart. So I guess we can't count Raymond out yet somehow. I can't believe it, but we can't.
Coming around turn numbers 3 and 4. 15 laps to go. Yellow flag number 9. Green flag back in the air. Bailey again, clear down to turn 1. Got a little bit of a push there for Dylan Wilbers to get him rolling. Just clears the nose of John Holiday.
Holiday to the inside. Oh, Wilbur's getting into the outside wall. Oh, and we're spinning further back. I believe it's the 27, bringing Greg around.
Right. Now we're starting to reach... Okay, why are we still
no.
wrecking? Okay, we saved it, but now we're starting to reach that territory where it's like, okay, we need to chill. We really need to chill here. I mean, this is now... That's the 3rd run now where we haven't gone more than a lap.
Yeah, it was just hard racing earlier. The last couple restarts have been more wishy-washy, more irritating rather than good hard racing. This one, yeah, exactly. This one coming through 1 and 2 here, 3 wide, no issues so far, not anything terrible. Greg to the middle, just pinched him. He just pinched him too much. I know he's 3 wide, so he's got to stay lower. But second time that we've seen 3 wide, and the guy in the middle kind of misjudges how much room they have to their outside.
Same deal as when Holiday pitched Raymond in earlier.
Yes, absolutely. There is more room to his outside, and I just think Greg cut it in a little too much. The Swaffer's leaving him a lot of room on the outside. I just don't think Greg realized how much room he had.
Man, that's a hard hit as well. From the spotter's stand, you see again, Greg, he's trying to dime it off the corner because he started high and then he tried to exit low, and then coming to the turn 3, Rapp runs over Campbell, then drifts out of control, gets it adjourned again. Highball did a good job of keeping it off the outside wall. So we nearly had a secondary right there. That might have just been people stacking up for the caution when they're 3 wide.
So this restart, we're going to have probably 10 laps to go.
You think 10?
Not too many left for these guys. Maybe 9. Maybe we'll have 2 more after this one. I feel like we're 2 to green right now, though.
Overtime? Do you think we're using it?
Yes. Given the given what we've seen over the last
Well,
handful of restarts, I think it's a good bet.
we've used overtime in pretty much every single race this season, except did we use an overtime attempt at Bristol?
That's a good question. I don't think we did.
I don't think we did either. I think we made it out of Bristol clean with about a 7-lap dash. Iowa, I think we used one, I want to say. Man, you missed a wild race at Iowa. Paul Witt almost, he launched into the air when he hit the wall at a certain angle and got about as high as the catch fence and then slammed down on his roof. I mean,
Holy cow.
there's been some wild wrecks this season. Remember at Bristol as well, where it was in fact Jared Duda after contact with his relative Jim Duda that caused him to ride along the catch fence like he was grinding at a skate park? I mean,
I remember that.
there's been some wild additions to the Green Flag TV's biggest crashes of the year compilation.
And you were right. It is 9 to go on the restart.
Ah.
Yeah, I had one more lap on there. So 9 laps to go. Can we run them green?
Probably not if
Yeah, I'd
trend
agree.
keeps on this way, but here's to hoping.
You never know.
Out of this race, RJ Buchanan, 3 laps down. Ooh, a little bit of a check, little check. Bailey jumps to it. Green flag is in the air. Stacking things up on the inside line. Zane Bailey well clear, though. At this rate, he could very well be right within a point or two of Aaron Raymond's points lead exiting this race.
This is exactly what he needs. Absolutely exactly what Zane Bailey needs. He's nailed every single restart so far, even on the older tires. He's done a fantastic job being able to hang on to control of the race lead. Raymond, though, from 4th, you're talking about he could be, oh, no, he's turning 3rd place. The 71 going around and back up the racetrack in turn number 1.
Still wrecking.
Somehow, oh, no, they're still wrecking.
Wraps into the outside wall. Jim Duda just got collected again. Wilbers is involved. Bailey hangs on. Aaron Raymond up to 3rd. Now, what, pray tell, happened here? We're watching all that battle, and deeper in the field, Raymond looks for the inside. Campbell might have tried to block him a little bit. And Raymond had the nose in. Did John not to bring it back up too much into the field. Did get hit by Noah Swaffer. Then you see it all fall apart up the road. Raymond's not pinched him at all. Oh boy, Dale Rabb with a vicious hit into the outside wall.
I think everybody, just reacting to seeing the 71 bounce off the fence. Everybody thought he was going to come back on the racetrack. He was able to get it wound up. He actually did make contact with Swafford, but everybody else just kind of, I feel like, making evasive maneuvers and then kind of getting it sorted, coming through to just more contact, leading to a bigger incident.
On board with Dale Rapp here. A lot of damage. This will be with Raymond here.
Yeah.
That's so borderline, right? I mean, that's very tough to call in one way or the other.
It is. It really is. It's very. I mean, the 71's blocking. Like Aaron's getting his left front or his right front to him. It's just honestly, I feel like Raymond could have made a bigger move to the inside to make sure that he was actually, clear, because he wasn't clear sideways. Like, he made weird contact with the right front bumper. I feel like he could have made a more aggressive move to the inside to prevent that, but the 71 was fading down the racetrack and throwing the block down into turn 1. So I don't know. Again, a lot of these have been kind of ones where I'm kind of having to sit on the fence. I feel like a lot of them have been kind of 50-50 or just hard racing, right? Come to the end of it and just a little too aggressive.
So usually we only have 2 attempts at overtime for all the SRA series. This time we are going to actually have 3, because this is going to be a nat green-white checkered finish if the lights go out this time. So 2-lap dash.
Yes, sir. 2 laps. No green-white checkered, so we could have 4. Interesting.
Still on regulation time, though.
This is true.
Bailey, again, opting for the outside. I like it. He's been good up there all day long. He's just got to get clear. If he can get clear, I think he's got this race in the bag. It'll depend on what John Holiday and Aaron Raymond are able to do, though, from the inside line. Pace car pulling down. This time, we're ready to go. 2 laps to go at Nashville.
Oh, this is not a good restart for Bailey. He's not going to get clear down into turn 1 this time, I don't think. Oh, Holiday able to throw it up to the inside. They're going to be side by side off of turn number 2, and Raymond's looking to get a good run off the corner, too, to make it 3 wide.
John Buata Jr., I think, just dropped it at the tail of the field, coming around for the white flag, looking for it. Holiday leaning on Aaron Raymond. White flag in the air. Will finish this race under regulation time. Holiday shoving Aaron Raymond up the racetrack, not letting him get much of an in. It's going to have to come down to some kind of a Hail Mary. Down to turn 4, they're wrecking big on the back straightaway. Raymond stuffs it in. Holiday's down hard into the outside wall. Wind sweeps through to second, and Zane Bailey takes victory at the Nashville Fairgrounds Speedway and the Music City 100.
What a win for Zane Bailey. Holiday was aggressive. Holiday was aggressive on that last lap, that's for sure. It ended up biting him.
Zane Bailey comes off of turn number 4. He will get to take his first race win of the season, and walks it off in style to boot. And with that, the gap, oh boy, well, he just got clobbered there, but he's trying to get a donut show going. It's difficult, though, in these cars. You got to have a clutch to do it. But with all of this, that will allow that gap for the top spots to close. Jared Duda officially bumped out of the points lead.
It was a great race for Zane, too. Like I said, he held on those old tires. He was on the oldest tires in the field and was able to hang on to the track position the entire time. Yeah, he got some luck with the cautions coming out in the way that they did, but, man, he nailed every single restart except the last one, but was still able to end up getting clear and win the race. So, fantastic job from Zane Bailey, being the 3rd different guy to bring home a checkered flag this year.
John Buata Jr. got some trouble on 2 to go, but because of that huge wreck on the back straightaway on the last lap, he was actually able to pick up 8 as a result of that. This is what initially happened to him. A little bit of netcode help there, I think, with Thomas Lane Jr. caused him to spin around. Not fully around. He did manage to save it. I think that's what really kept him into this fight. And now it's only a question of what happened to the rest of the pack here.
A lot.
Well, no kidding.
Big blocking down the front straightaway. Craig had nowhere to go there for the 41, throw a massive block, and then through 2, door contact between Duda and Swafford. Greg just gets right rear. Thomas Lane got the right rear, and
oh boy!
After that.
Brennan Gregg went up and over on that deal. Barrel rolled down the back straightaway. Then, of course, John Holiday had his big wreck.
Yeah, Holiday down to 3. He just drove in really deep, trying to take second. Overdrove himself. There's another little bit of netcode in the Holiday Raymond incident again, but also again, it wasn't going to matter if there wasn't netcode. Holiday overdrove the corner, was gonna make contact anyway and get right rear hooked. I mean, he drove it in so deep, made door contact first, and then drove it in even harder to the center of the corner and just kind of cleared himself.
Hard hit into the outside wall again, jumping all 4 wheels up and off the ground with that. Taking another look for the white flag in its entirety as the field worked their way off at turn numbers 3 and 4. You see all the aggression already started to kick off from behind. Watch 3, almost turned to 4 here, and then Greg gets turned. Jernigan and Jim Duda took hard hits into the inside wall. There's the 80 or the 27 up and over. Raymond taking over the number 3 spot, and John Holiday having to try to get down the racetrack. took him a while to find a gap, but was eventually able to get the nose in there. And that takes us to the end of this race, and it was a messy one and a wild one. Zane Bailey closes the gap to Aaron Raymond. He picks up the number 1 position this afternoon. Paul Witt was in 2nd, Aaron Raymond in 3rd, Joshua Highbaugh in 4th. Neil Rapp was in 5th, with Swabbert in 6th, Campbell in 7th, Bawalda in 8th, Jim Duda in 9th, and Dylan Wilbur rounds out the top 10.
11th is Thomas Lane Jr., Joshua Jernigan in 12th, Brendan Gregg in 13th, 14th is John Holliday, 15th Anthony Lane, RJ Buchanan is in 16th, and Cody Witt rounds out the 17-car field.
And that takes us to the end of racing action this afternoon. Let's see if we can't get a chit-chat with all the drivers that come home this afternoon with some wild stories, no doubt, at the tail end of this race. And we'll look to kick off first and foremost with none other than Zane Bailey. Perhaps not fine Zane Bailey. So we'll give him a chance to pop in here. We'll start from the bottom then. We'll work our way up. It is Aaron Raymond coming home with the driver to Highgate, Vermont, to pick up the number 3 spot here this afternoon. And, well, Raymond, you still maintain the points lead after Jared Duda was not able to turn up tonight. But Zane Bailey established himself as a serious threat this afternoon. Overall, how do you think this championship could shake down for you?
I think the championship's going to go good. I know tonight didn't really go how I planned. I made a few mistakes, and I know netcode caught me a few times, but I think it's going to be a good fight.
Kind of walk us through this race tonight. Quite a few more cautions than we're used to seeing in some of the races, judging how the last few weeks have gone, at least in quick succession. Your thoughts on what was a messy one tonight from Nashville?
I don't know how much of it was just us being overly aggressive or how much it was with netcode, because I know the left front to right rear netcode was really bad, and it caused at least 3 cautions tonight.
Well, of course, next week, it's one of the longest races in terms of the lap count. It's, of course, the Whitlock 150 from the Oxford Plains Speedway, an extremely unorthodox track, and apart from Concord, one of the most unique we're going to be visiting as well. What are your thoughts for the little egg-shaped racetrack?
I like Oxford. I'm pretty good at it, and it's, I think, the closest track to my home here that we go to this season, so I'm hoping for a good result.
Fingers crossed. We wish you the best of luck when we return at Oxford Plains, and we'll see how this championship continues to shake up. Congratulations on 3rd this afternoon.
Thank you.
And Raymond able to pick up the number 3 spot this afternoon. And, well, we are not going to be able to get a chance to talk with Zane Bailey. He is unfortunately feeling under the weather. He will not be able to talk to us this afternoon. So, Austin, I'll pass it down to you. Standing by with our runner-up, Paul Witt, sniping it at the buzzer.
Yes, sir. Paul Witt, your P2 finisher. Paul, you weren't up at the very front too much tonight, but, man, you got there whenever it mattered the absolute most. The last few restarts, you're up there in the top 4, top 6. Was there anything that you could have done different on any of those restarts to be able to challenge Zane? I mean, there was just a lot of fighting between, it felt like between 2nd to 6th on all the restarts.
Well, on the restarts, I was getting a pretty good jump on the restarts, but I just couldn't. I didn't want to push it 3 wide. I probably could have pushed it a few times 3 wide going into turn 1, but I didn't want to do it. I was just pushing the guy in front of me as much as I could down the front stretch, because I was beating and banging them all the way down there, because I was getting pretty good jumps on those. But I don't know if there's anything I could have done differently. This is the first time I've ran this track, so I didn't know what to expect. And in practice, I was garbage. So I'm pretty pleased with this.
I was about to ask, man, if you were garbage in practice, you must be pretty daggum happy about a 2nd place finish, huh?
Oh yeah. 2nd place is great. Would have been nice to get Zane, but I knew it was going to be hard passing him, because I was having problems passing him in the race. But all in all, yeah, no, I'm very well pleased.
Well, Paul, what was it like getting all the or through all the mayhem tonight? I mean, there was a lot of beating and banging out there tonight. A couple netcode incidents also. So what was it like just trying to navigate the mess?
Yeah, that's what it was, trying to navigate the mess. I mean, you just had you had to take the runs when you got them, and just hopefully you didn't cause anything. I know I turned the 41 once. It looked like he checked up, and I just drove through the back of him because I had a good run off. But all in all, the racing out there was pretty good. Just a little aggressive, but you have to with these.
That's a very fair point, Paul. Congratulations again on the second place tonight. Is there anybody that you'd like to thank at the end of this one?
Oh, I got to thank Thomas and you guys for broadcasting, and the wife let me come down here, and thank my son that he didn't take me out, tonight. So, all in all, it was a good time.
Typically, father-son relationships sour after a little bit of contact on the racetrack. So good for y'all that y'all didn't have too much to go wrong tonight with that. But congrats again, Paul, on the second place finish, and thank you for taking some time out to come and talk to us tonight.
Yeah, thanks, Austin. Yeah, he's new to iRacing, so I gotta give him a little bit of static every now and then. I'm trying to help him out, and the team's trying to help him out. But yeah, it's fun to have a father and son battle out here.
Oh, I absolutely bet. I'm kind of jealous, man. I would love to have my dad out here. But either way, congratulations, Paul. Can't wait to see if y'all can both improve each other throughout the season, and then the season's coming forward here on SRA.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you guys.
All righty, that was your second place finisher, the number 429 of Paul Witt. And like our producer said, unfortunately, we couldn't get in touch with our race winner. So Nolan, what'd you think?
Always love getting Paul Witt up here in the broadcast booth. He's just an absolute pleasure to talk to every single
dude's great.
time. He's entertaining, right? I mean, he always gives us stuff to talk about.
That was one of my easiest interviews I've ever had.
Right? But yeah, next week it's Oxford Plains. It's an extremely unique racetrack. It's not an easy racetrack though. It's, I think, the only racetrack where you're never really not turning because of how long the corners are and how short the straights are. It's just shy of being a circle. I mean, this is going to be a wild one here coming on up in just a week or so here, Austin. And 150 laps, it's not a short race either.
No, a little bit longer, but, I mean, to be fair, I don't mind that. These races are so daggum short anyway. I mean, we had, 10, 11 cautions tonight, and it took an hour? I mean, these things are short, man. I like it. It's nice to, it keeps the intensity ramped up the entire race. So even with a little bit longer one next week, I'm still going to like it. I think we're going to have almost the same level of intensity, but maybe we need to back it up just like half a step. So I'm looking forward to it. I think it'll be fun.
Coming on up tomorrow afternoon at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It is, of course, going to be a big, big afternoon. It's Bump Day qualifying, and then immediately following that, it's the SRA Next Gen Cup Series kicking off playoff season on Sunday night at the Texas Motor Speedway. Then, of course, coming around to Monday afternoon as well. High Tide Racing League returns with more action. They'll be down at Sin City at Las Vegas Motor Speedway, with the Beer League out at Rootscoga Motor Center. Kick off their second half of their season as well. For us here on Green Flag TV, that's all the time we're going to have for one afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you all when we duke it out next week in Oxford Plains.